anyways. So after he was finished giving me the perfect haircut in a little under 15 minutes for $15, including a generous tip, he spun that chair around and he lowered it down and he whipped the towel off from around my neck with a flourish and he held up that little hand mirror for me to look at the back. And he said, there you go. Hey? Handsome guy. Now, there's always a chance at any point in this interaction. Something. It could be anything. It's going to tip those scales. Whoever I'm talking to might all of a sudden realize that maybe I'm not exactly what they might have thought I was in the first place. Whatever the fuck that was. And they might not care at all. Most people don't care at all. But some people, they care a whole lot. They might change their body language. They might change their tone of voice. They might change their mind about how much they like me. And oddly, I have really no control over any of this, and I know what some of you are thinking, and that's okay. You're right. I could choose to go about my everyday, ordinary human business, and each and every time I interact with a perfect stranger, I could say, hello, my name is Ivan, and I need a car wash or a haircut or a library book or a latte. And just in case you might be wondering, are you wondering? It's hard to tell sometimes. And maybe, should I? See, you don't really need to actually know this about me to sell me a newspaper, but what the hell? I am a predominantly estrogen-based organism. And you may now proceed to treat me thusly. Based on how much respect you have for women, whether or not you hate gay people, and how you feel inside about people who even when forced into a gender box refuse to close the lid. I could say all that. But that would be unwieldy, wouldn't it? I'd never get anything done. And that would be none of their business. And most important, because I like to think that I was raised upright, that would be a definite overshare. So mostly I just try to be personable. I try to be polite. I try not to assume anything about anybody, and I just hope for the best. Mostly that's what I get. So before I left, I went in for a haircut, and Nabil, he went on at some length about how much he missed my beautiful lady friend, and why was she breaking his heart? Breaking his heart! By not coming in to visit him more often. He said, you know, Ivan, you are a lucky man. And I have always liked you. So I am going to do you a favor. That's right. I am going to tell you where to get a whole leg of lamb. Best butcher in all of Ottawa. And you get a decent bottle of wine, young man. You cook that lady friend of yours a nice dinner. You make sure she keeps on coming back here to visit us. So I asked him how long he had been married for. It seemed like the logical next thing to say, and he shook his head. He was sweeping the back of my neck with that brush coated in Old Spice scented men's talcum powder, and he said, "Me, boss? No, me. I've been divorced now for 26 years." And so I laughed out loud. I couldn't help it. And I asked him why I should be taking his advice then on keeping a quality woman around, right? And I don't know, maybe I laughed like a girl. Although I highly fucking doubt it. Maybe he finally noticed that, kind of like Peter Pan. Hey, I have gray hair and wrinkles, but I magically still cannot seem to grow a beard, even though he takes out that straight razor every time, and I just let him, because ladies, let's face it, you get to a certain age, we all got a little something going on, right? Anyways, who can know what it was? But all of a sudden he stopped, and his eyes met mine in the mirror, for the reflection in the mirror for a second, and then he shook his head, and he said, You tell that lady friend of yours to make sure she comes in to visit next time she's in town. You tell her I miss her. You tell her I love her." And then he flipped that chair around, and he whipped that towel off from around my neck with a flourish, and he held up that little hand mirror for me to look at the back. But this time, he put his hand on my shoulder. You know what he said? He said, "There now. There you go. Now, aren't you beautiful too?" Thank you.